Well, thankfully, we think Peppa may have done a little bit of a false heat, which is why she was acting the way she was the other day. So we don't think that she lost her pregnancy because that only happened for about a day and a half. She's back to being her normal self. So, still hoping for some piglets from the girl coming up in July. Hi, sweetheart. How are you? Watch that fence. You get into that thing, you scream like heck. All right. So, I think we're safe to say, and I did get up here and walk around and look, and I didn't see anything like, she had lost or anything like that. So, we read up on it. False heat is not uncommon in pigs, which will put them into that kind of category or that mode. And even Boris, because of the way she was acting, he was sniffing on her, but then was showing no interest. So we kept a good close watch on her. Hi, homie. What doing, buddy? I know, Peppa wants all the attention. Okay. So with chickens, everybody, well, not everybody. I throw a blanket statement here. A lot of people use apple cider vinegar in the water of their animals. And I already fed you. That's what all that's for. You get up there in the root. Don't whine. Don't whine. Okay. All right. So, a lot of people use apple cider vinegar in the water of their chickens and stuff like that. It says it promotes good gut health. Okay, so it does. We know apple cider vinegar works. But there's something else a lot of people don't talk about. Not near as much, and that is oregano. And reading up on herbs and stuff like that, like I have been doing, looking at herbs for good health, good immune health, in place of modern pharmaceuticals. Something that we know God said that all the plants and stuff, all the things of the earth can be nourishing and medicine and stuff for us. So why not? If things really get that bad and healthcare kind of goes to crap, and the pharmaceuticals continue to just pretty much use us as guinea pigs, and why don't we treat ourselves? And they really don't want you to do that, but they do anyway. So we grow a lot of herbs anyways, a lot of cooking herbs, and we dehydrate a whole bunch of it. And the wife, of course, oregano is one of the big things. So what I did was I ordered these little cotton bags off of they're like oversized cotton tea bags. I think they're 3x6 off of Amazon, 100% cotton. You get a pack, I think 50 of them for like 10, 12 bucks. And what I did was I took some of the oregano. She had some of the dehydrated oregano, and it smells great. I put it in these bags. So while I've got these chickens out here, the meaties, and I got 5-gallon buckets out here hanging for their waters that provide water down to the bell waters. What better way to get something like oregano in that water than in a dehydrated form, of course, and in 100% cotton tea bags? Now, what are some of the benefits of oregano? Well, anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, antiviral, anti-parasitic. That's the big thing with chickens, especially meat chickens, because they get what's called any chicken can get what's called coccidiosis. And if you can keep their gut health safe and healthy, or keep their gut healthy, you decrease those risks. And this kind of stuff isn't something that you take acutely once you get sick. It's something that you take to help build your immunity up. So by adding this to their water, this is something I could probably put in their water. And I don't know. There's no formula out there. I've not seen anything out there on the internet that says, hey, take X amount of oregano, put it in a 5-gallon bucket, and leave it in there for X amount of time to get, the result that you're looking for. I'm just going on a whim. It's good stuff. Has a lot of good healing properties, a lot of good preventative properties. Okay. Let's thing it out here. Take the tea bag, submerge it, and essentially just let it steep in the water, and I'll let it stay in there. In the big cotton tea bag, it's not going to get out, and it's not going to plug or clog anything up. And then I'll come over to the next one. These are all food safe buckets. Do the same thing. Submerge it, get it good and wet, and it'll eventually just sink to the bottom as it rehydrates. And we'll come over here. to the third one. All right. Now, officially, I can't remember age-wise, 4.5, 5 weeks. So they're getting to be monsters. These things grow so fast, it's crazy. All right, so what we'll do is we'll let this steep in here. Today's Saturday. I'll leave that in there probably for about 4 days, 5 days, probably 5 days, and then I'll pull the bag out, dump it out, and change it, and put it back in there. Or just put a whole new bag in. And that way, they have a constant supply of the oregano in the water. That'll help, hopefully, because I already got them vaccinated for coccidiosis when I bought them, that and Merrick's disease. And I said with the next batch, I'm not going to do that. And none of the chickens that we're raising right now are going to have any of those vaccines. And I've already got 2 American breast hens who are broody, and I'm letting them set on eggs, and they're both setting on a huge clutch of eggs. So I'm going to let them set on them eggs and just hatch them out because, hey, we got to get our flock built up anyways. The Niederrheimer will be here the end of June, and the mystery, the number 4 mystery breed, I got the eggs Wednesday, I think they came, or Thursday. Thursday. So the eggs came. I ordered 12, I got 16, and they're in the incubator. So we're on a 21-day countdown with them, and hopefully we have at least 2 breeds that'll be growing up within about a week of each other, age-wise, hatch time. And then, of course, the Niederreimers will be about a month or so behind. But they should all grow up within the same time frame and should all come to maturity within about the same time frame, and we can get them breeding and get that process going. But I am diving more into herbs, not only for ourselves, but for our animals as well, as a preventative, as a good health booster. And even if it all turns out to be a bunch of BS and it don't do nothing for my chickens, it's pre-seasoning. I mean, who doesn't like Italian seasoned chicken? I mean, come on, seriously? So there's a silver lining to all of it anyways. So we're going to keep that going with the pigs. We bought some comfrey here locally at a greenhouse, and I'm going to start planting a bunch of comfrey around the property here, especially throughout my orchard and stuff as I move my chickens out. Comfrey is a great all-around multiple uses. It's good for animals. It's good for good mineral content and everything that they would need. It's good for mulch. It's good for inoculating compost and stuff like that. And even with lambs and everything, it's great for them because it gives them all of the minerals and stuff that they need as well. So we're definitely going to start growing a whole bunch of comfrey around here. All right, so now that I'm out of the raptors enclosure here, I got the electric fence back on, got the charger going. There's another thing I'm going to address here, and that is invasive species. Now, here in a lot of states, in the northeast, southeast, wherever you're located, multiflora rose is one of those that was brought in, oh God, a century or more ago, if not even longer. And it was brought in to use as a natural fence, natural barrier to keep livestock in. And it just went crazy. Now this place is absolutely overrun with multiflora rose. I can show you this right here. This is how it grows. I'm gonna get wet walking through the grass because it rained all day today. And it's about waist high. Oh yeah, yep, I'm wearing shorts. I'm wet all the way up to the nether region. All right, so this is blackberry. This is all blackberry blooms. And by the way, it smells so good out here. It's such a good floral smell out here. It's ridiculous, even with the rain that we got. So I've got all this. This is all blackberry right here. All this is multiflora rose. If you follow this around, look right up here. That's all multiflora rose. And it's overtaking trees. And it'll vine right up trees. It's crazy how this stuff grows. There's a good example. It's all the way up in there, vined up. And it pretty much follows all the way out and around. All of my fields are bordered with multiflora rose all the way up through here. That's all all that white you see all the way up through there. There's some autumn olive, multiflora rose all the way around, all over the place. And we also have the gift of this other wonderful tree here, and we have several of these on the property, including that big grove. These are called honey locusts. That's multiflora rose. And honey locusts, I'm going to zoom in here. You see those spikes coming off of that branch? Them things are 8 inches, if not longer. And they stick off of that branch. And that tree is absolutely, that is all spikes. Those are thorns from hell itself. They will go through you like butter. They will go through the bottom of your boot. And I mean a good soled boot, like nothing. And there are multiple species and clumps of the, or not species, but multiple groves and clumps of these trees around here. And of course, because they're so spiny and, you know, just completely rounded with spines and the thorns, the viney stuff loves to get on it because it just wraps it up in there and it makes it near impossible to get out of there and get into. Because I mean, if you look here, there's the tree, and it's completely surrounded by and wrapped up in multiflora rose. And there's other viney stuff climbing all the way up in it. That's from poor management 130 years ago. Because as the farmers brought this stuff in and they planted it along their fence lines and separated their meadows and stuff with it to keep their livestock in, it got away from them and they could not keep up with it. And they just couldn't keep it cut back. And this kind of stuff, if you don't keep it cut back and keep it controlled, will get away from you in less than a season. It's crazy. So, of course, when I bought this property way back in 2004, there had been zero, and I mean zero, brush hogging, maintenance, ruminants, or anything for more than 10 years. This land was way overgrown. As a matter of fact, the gate that was down by the paved road, you couldn't see it. It was so heavily overgrown, and we were finally able to get the brush cleared away from it to get it open to pull my truck in. We're talking full-size Dodge Ram, was completely just covered in brush as I drove up through there. So I had to brush hog the driveway 3 times, if that tells you anything. And that was just down there to the very front where we had actually had our house trailer at when we first moved on here. So that was a mess. That was absolute total mess, and all of this was. And you know, there's no comparing this today as to what it used to be, because I have cut, I have cleared, I have had bonfires, I've had firewood, I have brush hogged and brush hogged and brush hogged and dozed and done everything, and still, you see, this is what we got to contend with. And this is way more work than any one man can take on and think he's going to get any good progress to build his farm in a, you know, a shorter period of time. And I'm not looking at a race here, but I do want to get things done. I'm 51 years old. I don't want to be 70 years old out here still cutting back multiflora rose, and it's growing faster than my old butt can get out here and get it cut. All right, so just out there around the turn is where the current paddock is, where the pigs are. So the plan is to come around like this, come off along the road here, give Boris and Pee-wee this whole side of the hill. And we're going to clear up around the turn up here. You can just walk with me here. Enjoy the scenery. Beautiful up here. I love this. I've worked hard getting this cleared out, and I still got a bunch more to go. This is our middle field. Clouds are finally breaking up. A little bit of sun setting in the background here. So even all the way around the field until you get over here, this is all a bunch of multiflora rose down here in autumn olive. There's a bunch of it in that clump of trees, and back along through there. And where I just came from was right there, right below the chicken tractors. Let you enjoy that for a minute while I do. Thank you, Lord. All right, so Coming back up the road here, right up through here, as you can see, multiflora rose, honey locust trees. There's a cherry, honey locust tree, locust tree, black locust. Right here is where I plan on bringing the fence through from up on the hill. As I come up from the other paddock, come down around, tie in, bring it right down here and out and around. Now that'll give the pigs a whole as big a paddock, if not bigger than what they're already in right now, but good and wooded. Let them really get in there and root and open that up a little bit. And then guess what really loves multiflora rose? Lambs. So this will come in secondary from a pig paddock to a lamb paddock. Let the pigs get in there and get the underbrush broke up a little bit, and then I'm gonna turn the lambs loose in here. And once we get them, and I'm gonna let them eat this out, because ruminants is the best way to control this stuff. And all you got to do right here is where we're gonna come out with the fence, all the way out and around. And for the next 3/4 of a mile out across my back meadow, that's where this road runs. It runs right along parallel to my back meadow. For the next 3/4 of a mile, you've got multiflora rose. There's blackberry right there, autumn olive, and multiflora rose. Pretty much everything white that you see is multiflora rose. Again, I looked at renting an excavator with a flail mower on the end of it to come in here and clean this out of here. Well, at least a good bit of it. Over $1,200 a day for me to rent it and run it. $1,200 a day. And that's an 8-hour day. $2,000 a day to have somebody else come up here and do it. And I said, no, there's no way. I just can't do that. And while I'm not comfortable at this point making a big purchase, I did run across the tractor because I need a bigger tractor, because I've got a boom mower that goes on the back of it that'll cut all this for me. And unfortunately, that boom mower weighs as much as my current tractor. So I ran across a tractor. It's a 2010. It's got 342 hours on it. It's a 68 horsepower 4-wheel drive. Got everything that I need, and I could not walk by it. I could not walk by it. So with the wife's blessing, yes, gentlemen, that is how you do it. With the wife's blessing and a good review of our finances, there's a tractor coming, a new to me tractor coming to the farm, hopefully within the next couple weeks. So, and that way I can really bust into a lot of this to get the road opened up a little better, get it widened out to be able to run my fence. And as I get the dozer back together here in the next few weeks as well, I'll just start cutting lines up and down through there, all the way out across that the back road. I'll start cutting paddock lines out about every 100 feet, every 200 feet, and just cut paddocks from the middle road down to the bottom road and set fence and run my pigs out through there and bring in my lambs. And that's how we're going to take care of a lot of this stuff. And then eventually this here, down here, we'll get right along this meadow. All this brush right through here will get fenced in all along the meadow. Down over, meet up with the bottom paddock. That's how I'm going to do this. That's the only way I'm going to be able to do this, because there's no real physical way for me to even get in there and do it. So I'm going to use the animals. And with that, June 11th, as of June 11th, you will no longer be able to buy antibiotics at Tractor Supply, Rural King, or your local farm store for your animals without a veterinary prescription. They passed that law. So as of June 11th, no penicillin, none of that good stuff. Now you can still probably get your dewormers, your ivermectin, and like your Corid, but as far as any of your antibiotics that you would need for your cattle, your sheep, your pigs, your horses, or anything like that, you have to have a veterinarian's prescription. So if you're not stocked up, stock up. And if you're not into herbal medicine, do what I did. Get on Amazon, order some books, learn about it, and start pre-treating your animals to get their health built up, and start pre-treating yourself to keep yourself built up. This is not medical advice. if you are taking prescription medicines or have any particular medical problems, I would highly entertain the advice that you talk to your doctor realistically. Hey, look, doc, I want to start taking this as a health maintenance or to help treat this ache, this pain, or this condition. Is it safe? Or even talk to a pharmacist to see if it's not going to interact with any of the medicines that you currently take, or if you're going to have any medical issues that, you know, this could make worse or even cause others. But I would tell you to be very, very inquisitive about what herbs you can grow for yourself, what herbs you can make at home in the form of a tincture, a salve, a balm, an infusion like oregano oil infusion and stuff that you can use to take as a daily supplement to treat yourself, your animals, and your family. So get on that, folks. There's lots of good resources out there. Tons of that stuff available on Facebook. Tons of that stuff available on YouTube. Get on there and learn about it, because I don't know about you. I'm not a big fan of the pharmaceutical industry. So, all right, I got more things to do. Folks, please get and stay prepared. I'm unfortunately among the group that thinks that there's a pretty big storm coming. And I don't want to see anybody get left standing there holding nothing to get them through it. So stay free. God bless y'all.